Iran's new supreme leader hailing what he calls a new chapter in management in the Strait of Hormuz. Mojtaba Khamenei says war has reshaped the Gulf. In a statement posted by Iran's government news service marking Persian Gulf Day, Mojtaba Khamenei says Washington has suffered defeat, adding that Tehran will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities. That message in clear defiance of plans by the U.S. president to continue blocking Iranian ports and coasts for months if that is necessary. Donald Trump also claiming a successful naval blockade, calling on Tehran to give up, reportedly rejecting any reopening before any deal on peace. The Trump administration is reportedly pushing for an international coalition to restart commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. It will be called the Maritime Freedom Construct. This US-led bloc will share information and coordinate diplomatically to help enforce sanctions. Kate Fisher is covering this story for CNA Live from Washington, D.C. Kate, what would this coalition look like?
Well, we know from what has been reported here from this internal State Department cable that it would be essentially getting other nations to come on board and work with the United States. There will be an option whether they would like to be militarily involved or just diplomatically, options for helping to enforce sanctions, as well as actually having ships there present. It would be run through the State Department and the Pentagon. And essentially, it is the US government asking nations to help them to coordinate ships being able to pass once again through the Strait of Hormuz. However, several allies, including the UK and France, have said that they will not be part of something like this until once the conflict is over. And of course, they are already leading their own charge on this, already having held meetings with other countries to work out a way of trying to get shipping restarted through the strait. This cable does say that this American plan, this maritime freedom construct, would work complementary to any other system that's already been created. But it is interesting, I think, that this issue of the Strait of Hormuz was not even an issue before this war began. It wasn't part of Donald Trump's plan when he began the bombing campaign on Iran alongside Israel. And now it has become this huge part of trying to end the conflict and restart global shipping to bring down energy prices across the globe.
Okay, meanwhile, this bombing campaign, we might see further developments. Donald Trump set to receive a military briefing today on new military options.
That's right. In his kind of real need to get Iran to get to the negotiating table and actually discuss their nuclear program, which is what he says is the stumbling block on the previous plan that they submitted, is he is now also reportedly looking at further military options. They would be smaller and targeted on specific infrastructure to really put some pain on Tehran to try to get them back to the negotiating table over their nuclear ambitions. And we understand that he will be briefed by the CENTCOM commander today on all these different options. And it does signal that he's seriously considering resuming combat operations in this conflict. They would be short, powerful strikes, we understand, with the hope of breaking this deadlock. And it does show, all of this reporting suggests that he is looking at so many different options. Clearly, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a huge pressure point on the president. He wants to see this war over, and he also wants to see, of course, gas prices coming down because they are affecting him in the opinion polls. And of course, there are midterm elections coming up in November when his Republican colleagues will be up for re-election.
Thanks. Kate Fisher there covering this story for CNA from Washington, D.C.